Russia, thank you so much for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. How long have you been doing stand up? 3, 4 years now?
3.5 years now.
Okay, awesome. And you're still
Love it.
doing it
Still here. Going nowhere. So
and
yeah.
really enjoy it. So let me ask you this. First question I always ask people, like why comedy? Why did you want to try it? How did it start for you?
So I'm one of those people that accidentally found it.
Okay.
I wasn't ever thinking about being a comedian. It never crossed my mind because I didn't even realize how professional comedians become professional comedians.
Okay.
I used to love watching shows, and for years I did. Naturally, I was funny with my friends. I would crack jokes, but again, had no clue like you could turn this into something. And then one day I was in San Francisco with my best friend. We actually stumbled onto an open mic. I didn't understand the difference between a pro show and an open mic. So I was expecting a pro show. And if anyone's ever been to an open mic, you know that's where dreams go to die. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was witnessing. I was witnessing terrible comedy and I was talking shit because that's naturally what I do. I talk shit. I'm not a comedian. So I'm sitting here like, what's wrong? Like, this isn't funny. Like, oh my God. And my friend goes, you should get up there.
You were heckling.
And I wasn't telling them. I was talking shit to my friend. I was telling her, I was like, this is shit. Like, because the day before we went to Punchlines in San Francisco and we watched two amazing comedians. They both had 30 minutes album recording. So imagine, like, I just watched somebody's best material and then now I'm watching people want to be comedians because that's what an open mic, it's some seasoned and mostly want to be comedians.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I was confused. So I was talking my shit like funny thing is I should have realized it was an open mic. It was free. That should have already set off some alarms. But I'm like new. I didn't know nothing about the way this world worked. So I said, yeah, I would do it. But I obviously in that moment didn't have any material. So I said to her, when we come back to Toronto, knowing that we were in a pandemic and I would have time to come up with something. And so I kind of thought I thought she forgot about it, to be honest. But we shook hands, and this is my best friend,
Ooh.
like till we die. And so she remembered. And then 2 months after, when things started opening up again, she messaged me and was like, "Hey, there's an open mic at this bar. It's time for you to do it." And I said, "All right." And I went, and I was nervous as hell. I'm not gonna even fret like
Okay.
I was nothing. Are you crazy? That was the most nerve-wracking experience I've ever had. You just, you say you will, but then once you're at the bar, you're like, I don't know, the feeling is you're cold. You literally feel like you're about to
Wow.
like I it's
Yeah.
and I understand why some people say public speaking is their biggest fear
Yeah.
because like bigger than death. Like
Yeah.
more people would rather die than to speak at a funeral. Like, imagine that. They'd rather be in the casket. So, I think about that all the time and I'm like, yeah, this is kind of an insane thing to do. This is insane. But I shook my hand. I said I would. It was a dare and I had to, and I thought I'll just do this and then that's it.
Yeah.
Then little did I know that I would fall in love with it and be addicted, literally addicted.
So
Like,
did you prepare? Like, did you have anything prepared for that?
so I had one stupid joke and I will share it. I love
Yes.
it because it's become it's still in use now. That's how crazy it is because when I first did it, it probably had a lot of fat on it and then I've cut
Okay.
the fat and the story still goes and it worked out because after I explained the joke there was two people in the audience that were British and it just worked out perfectly because the joke was almost like kind of making fun of them and I didn't realize that they were British. It was just two white guys. How the hell am I supposed to know until they speak, right?
Yeah.
So that ended up just being like they had a good laugh and then I was addicted. That was the laugh that made me be like I'm gonna come back next week. So the joke, I feel
Yeah.
like I'm not taking a breath. I'm just right into it.
Yeah.
Okay. The joke was saying how I travel a lot and I went to London, England, and I didn't know that the word fanny was slang in the UK for basically vagina. Like that's their version of pussy. And I had no clue. And I walked into a store and asked a woman for a fanny pack, not realizing I was asking for a pussy pack. And then when she didn't understand what I was saying, and I do this now on stage, I stand there and I go, ma'am, a fanny pack. And I'm like hovering around where you would wear a fanny pack. And I'm like, you open it and put things inside?
Ah, ah, ah.
And it honestly, here's the thing, true story. Like, I'm so, like, I don't know, I'm ridiculous in real life, and it kind of works out for this industry. Like, all my stories are true. And a lot of people don't,
Yeah.
sometimes they don't believe me. They think I'm just a creative, like, thinker or writer. I'm like, no, most of the things I say is true. And as ridiculous as they sound, my life is a little bit crazy. Like, my family is a little bit crazy. They're the real reason why I'm a comedian. Like, they didn't mean to, but
It would be funny if the lady gave you something.
yeah, she would, no, actually, funny. She was like, do you mean a bum bag? I was like, no,
Yeah, a
what?
bum bag. That's right.
That's what they call them. I was like,
That's right.
that's nasty. What do you mean a bum bag? What do you mean? I'm like, what?
That's right.
Isn't that so? She was so. I was like, what? No. And then it wasn't until 3 months later, mind you, I don't know why she reacted that way to fanny pack. And 3 months later, my homegirl from not Amsterdam, Manchester, she was hanging out with me, and I was telling her this interaction. I'm like, why did they call it bum back? She goes, you called it a fanny pack? Yo, you don't even know what you just said. And then I laughed about it, and that's where the joke formulated. I said, I can't believe I asked for a pussy pack. And pussy pack, just that made me laugh. The idea of like being like, do you guys have pussy packs? Like that made me laugh so much. And that's why I made that my first joke. And that was the only joke I had. The next week, same bar, I showed up. By the way, it was called Tonight Bar. It's closed now, but they reopened another, like, it just reopened in a different name, and they still are doing comedy. It was
Yeah.
really a good place. And I appreciate it for being my first space, because I only knew of that mic at that time. So I went back, and then I started talking about my mom and work, and I just was kind of riffing. And
Really? Okay.
yeah, I was riffing. I had ideas, but again, it was like nothing really written. Um, I ended up working backwards. Once I really was like, hey, I'm doing this. I'm really doing this. Like I was like a couple months in, I said, well, why don't I go to the basics? Because I've never taken a class. And a lot of people ask me, you taken a class? I was like, no, I've never done a class. I don't know like the art of comedy. I was just being myself. I went backwards. I went to YouTube, and I was like, how to write a 5 minute set. And
Yeah.
then I watched the guy tell me exactly what I already was doing. And that's when I realized, I was like, oh wow, this is really comes natural for me. What if I take it to another level and actually start investing time, money, taking actual, like, taking it to the next level? Where can I go if this is
Yeah.
something I already had, which is, and I'm grateful for it, because I realize, like, I'm not afraid to talk to people, strangers. So
Yeah.
even crowd work came easy for me, something that
Wow.
some comedians stay away from. I'm like, I love that. I'm a nosy person. I did it. I used to do crowd work on the street, not realizing. I sit on the bus, I look across from me. If I have a question to the person in front of me, I'm asking it. Like, I'm a little bit of whatever the opposite of social anxiety is. I'm socially annoying. That's and I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't
That is
change it.
amazing. Good for you. Well done. Well done. Um, what was it like? It's interesting. You talked about those two people laughing at your joke. Was it them? I'm curious. Like, can you? I don't know if I can hear people when I'm on stage telling a joke. Like, I can hear people, but I don't know whether they're laughing. I have to like watch afterwards.
So I no, I the laughs keep me going. I
Yeah.
hear every single one. I have ADHD, so my ears, they listen for everything. So
Yeah.
I can hear people talk to each other, and I'll get thrown off, but that's where crowd work comes in, and I go, "Oh, I'm sorry, am I ruining your conversation? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what's happening over there?
Yeah.
What are you texting? Who are you texting? What alarm was that?" Like, I listen to everything. So there was only 7 people in that bar, mind you.
Yeah.
Probably 5 of them were comedians.
Okay.
One was my best friend, and
Yeah.
two were these random actual people from the street. And this is the reason why it was even better for me, because it wasn't comedians being nice, knowing this was my first time ever.
Yeah.
These were two random people who walked into this bar knowing there was a mic, listening, and then just so happens they were British, thinking what I was talking about was so funny, and they having a nice old belly laugh. And
That's
that
amazing.
laugh alone, that was all. And I did record it. I do have it. I one day maybe I'll post it one day, but for now I'm like it's still it's just in the archives for now. But it was a crazy feeling. I felt like I was high. That's what I explain to people all the time. I'm like it is a natural high. It's like you're
Mm-hmm.
euphoric. And for those who have never tried comedy, I say it try to give them the scenario of being like a kid in on the schoolyard cracking a joke, or being in class cracking a joke, and everybody laughing. Maybe you got the teacher laughing, and then the whole day all you thought about was how that event. That's the feeling of comedy. It's like it's 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 just like it's like I can't like I again it's so hard to put in words.
Sure.
It just
Do you still go and watch comedy? Like, are you still a fan?
yeah, it's tough though
Yeah.
because now my
Okay.
standards are so high. So I will watch pros, pros, pros. I'm talking people that, they're like I here's the thing. I'd like live comedy better than watching specials on TV.
Sure.
So I'll watch the people who have specials on TV in real life,
Yeah.
but I also love the underground, the ones that haven't blown up, but I know they deserve it.
Yeah.
Like I know a couple comedians that I got to perform with that till today when people ask me who's your like top comedians, I'll be like some of them you won't know, but it's people I actually have met through the Toronto scene. I
Well,
still watch comedians, but I can't watch bad comedy. It makes me upset.
so what? Okay, so I need to ask you this. Like, who are these Toronto comedians that you really like?
Okay, before I became a comedian and after becoming a comedian, and I still hold them to these standards. Danny Martinello,
Okay.
he is one of the I've never seen a style of comedy like his. And he's now moved to Texas and he's doing big things. And
Oh wow.
I'll always tell him like and here's the thing, there's people who inspire you because you can like be like them. And then there's people that inspire you because you know you'll never ever do what they're doing. But I am inspired by their charisma. Like I don't want to be Danny. I will
Sure.
never be Danny. He is a firecracker. He has so much energy. He is such a funny person. Like his actions are funny. Everything about him is funny. He can make anybody laugh. There's not a single person that at least that's my opinion. So I'm a big fan of his, and he's the only person who, no matter how many times I can watch the same joke of his and I'll still
Yeah.
laugh like it's the first time ever. So I really got to give it to him. Other people, let me get his last name right.
Nitty. Yeah.
Yes, Nitty, you know Nitish. So Nitish also moved to LA. It's all my favorites moved, and I'm like, and they deserve that US visa. Like they
Yeah.
earned that US visa. So I'm
Yeah.
proud. I'm like really like and Nitish, his style is complete opposite of Danny. He is a laid back, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
head vibe. And that also was something that I loved. Again, another person I wouldn't be because I have too much energy. Not enough for Danny, but not too little where I can be Nitish. So I admire these comedians. I like their writing. I think what they say is clever. I think what they say is like unproblematic. Like they can toe the line of so much things that other people are afraid to touch. Like I don't know. I'm they're inspiring, and those are just two of many. And Dave Maharaj, Dave is
Yeah.
another one. There's so many, and
Dave's
it's
my
so
favorite.
to be able to perform with these people, like
Yeah.
being able to be like share a stage, it's a big now. Those are I'm naming a lot of male comics. There are the female comics as well in the scene that I admire, that I even started with, that I think are hilarious, that I love watching. And I'm one of those people that I I believe comedy is so, like, at least for me, like it's about yourself.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody can do comedy the way I do it.
Fair
And
enough.
I don't think I can look at somebody and be like, oh man, I wish I did that first. No, there's no such thing. You're
Yeah.
either good or you're not. So you can't be jealous of what other people are doing. You can't be looking at other people and being like, oh, I'm fun. And like, no, everybody has their style. If you feel like copying, then you haven't found your voice and
Yeah.
good. Like that's my thing is like I'm never trying to like I don't know, people who try to be like other comedians. I'm like,
Mhm.
that's not the way to go about this. Like, you gotta be yourself. That's the whole point. It's you. You're putting yourself on display. You can talk about the news, but it has to be your take, not somebody else's
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That is good. That is good. Um, you've, I mean, only like 3.5 years in, and you've already performed like with Dave, with Nitty. I mean,
Danny with all of them. Yeah, yeah.
that's amazing. Like, was there a moment? Like, I'll tell you this: if ever Dave calls me up and goes, "Kareem, can you do you want 5 minutes? I'm doing a thing." Like, I would say, "Shit, I'm quitting my job." Like, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not quitting my full time, but you know, like it'll be like, "Holy shit,"
I'm
you know?
dropping everything and doing it, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, yeah. Was there a moment for you where you were like, "Oh my god, this has happened. This is happening."
I just in April got to open for Zainab Johnson. And
Oh, I missed her show. How was it?
it was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing. The thing about this moment for me, like, and yes, it was like I'm dropping my shifts. I don't care what I'm supposed to be doing, where I'm supposed to be. Everything's being dropped. I'm opening for Zainab Johnson. Like, nothing's gonna stop me. Like, that's how I felt. Even when I first got the confirmation, like her emailing me being like, okay, like Friday, be there. I remember like shrieking at my phone. I was with my boyfriend. I was like, like, and the thing about it is before before I started comedy, like right when I started comedy,
Yeah.
I saw Zainab and I saw like a bit about Ramadan. I don't even the thing is though, it's a funny thing is I don't even remember the bit, but I remember her talking about Ramadan and me being like mesmerized because one, not a lot of Muslim woman comics like I was aware of. Like I wasn't aware of many, right?
Sure.
On top of that, her being American and her having that like style to her, the way she like it, it felt relatable because I grew up in Canada and in the States like when I was younger. Even
Okay.
though I was born in Egypt, I left very young. So I felt like the way she was like just cracking a joke about Ramadan, talking about fasting, it was so relatable, but it was also her style that was relatable and just everything about it. I fell in love with her. I thought she was hilarious. I thought she was so like beautiful and like her confidence, her like demeanor. And I went on Google and I went down the rabbit hole of Zainab Johnson. Whatever was out there,
Wow.
I went watched her YouTube and she did a podcast. I watched that. So I was a fan. Never did I ever think that I would even have this opportunity. So um I was a fan for 3 years, let's call it, because whatever. This was just in April. And then when she was coming to Toronto, I just put it in my calendar. All 3 days, I put it in my calendar. I said Zainab's coming to go to watch the show, not to
Yeah.
be. And then I decided, you know what? I have nothing to lose. I'm gonna DM her. I DM'd her,
Well done.
and guess what? I was absolutely ignored. She didn't even open it. She's huge. I didn't expect her to open it. I thought, hey, let me try. And yeah, she didn't even see my message. And I was like, oh man. And then a week passed and I went, wait a minute. I know somebody who knows her personally.
Okay.
So he's from LA, another comic that I love to watch, and he is such a good person. And since I met him, sorry, not since I started comedy, since I met him, I refer to him kind of as my like my comedy sensei in this game.
Okay.
Like so this is Chinadu Unaka,
Name rings
and
a bell. Okay.
yeah, he's Nigerian comic from LA. He's absolutely hilarious. And ever since I met him, he has just kind of been my mentor. Any questions I had, even though I'm in Toronto and he's in LA, as things got progressed and people would ask me what's my rate for this amount of time and for this length, or if I like was gonna audition for something and I had no idea, like I have nothing. I like I said, no
Yeah.
classes. I would go and text him or I'd give him a call and he would be so helpful and just he'd give me the best advice. And And yeah, and anytime I'm in LA, like we'll write together or he'll help, like he'll put me, one time he's put me on his show at Soho House, which was a huge deal for me because at that time, again, how else was I going to perform in LA? Like I had no connections out there. So he's been a really good help. And he's also good friends with Zainab. And it just clicked. And I didn't even realize because when I messaged her, I was like, yeah, man, well, I guess that's it. And then a week later, I go, wait a minute, they're good friends. And so then I message him and I didn't, this is a big ask. I'm not the type to ask for this stuff. Like
Yeah.
I do take pride in saying that I've never asked to be on a show in Toronto.
Yeah.
Anytime I've ever been on a show, it's because somebody's asked me to be on their show.
Nice.
And I love that because it feels like, okay, I earned this. This is not because I asked and I'm pulling a favor. So that's a big thing for me. I do ask when I'm traveling because people don't know me out there.
Yeah.
So that's different. But so I message him, I go, hey, how close are you with Zainab? And he's like, that's the homie. And I was like, she's coming to Toronto. I don't know if this is like even possible, but I DM'd her. I'd love to open for her. I don't know. Like, I was just very like, I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
and he was like, okay, when did you dump her? And I'm like, okay, just give me a sec, like whatever. Then he comes back to me in like 5 minutes and he's like, can you send me 10 minutes? Oh, can you send me 5 minutes? Like, or something like that. Like, can you
Yeah.
send me tape? And I was
Yeah.
like, sure. So I sent him 10 minutes of me doing Nubian night in Toronto. And
All right.
I didn't hear from them for like a few days. And I was like, oh, damn, she didn't like me. Like, that's what it's like. And then like 2 days prior to the Friday of the
2 days
show,
prior.
2 days prior, something like that, like 3 or 2 days. And I get a message and he goes, what's your email? You have 10. What's your email? She's gonna email you. I said, oh, da da da. Then I got an email from her and she was like, okay, like you're gonna do my Friday show at 7, um, whatever, and like be there, like kind of thing. And I was like, okay, cool, thank you. See you there. And it was supposed to be one show, and then I did really well. And so she was like, what are you doing tomorrow? You want to open for me again tomorrow? I said, hell yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So then that again, that was the moment where I was like, okay, I earned that. She saw me. It wasn't, I'm doing a favor for a friend.
Yeah.
She told me, she said, Chinadu doesn't really vouch for people. Like he's
Okay.
not the type to vouch for people. So I knew that he wouldn't vouch for somebody he didn't find funny. And when he was here, I hosted his shows in Toronto. So that's kind of like, that's why also he could vouch for me because he trusted me to do that as well. So
Yeah.
I really, you don't understand. I'm beyond grateful for all the opportunities I've had and the people that have helped me throughout like the way. And like, I'm not a person who is like, yeah, like that's, it's me. Like, that's why I got, no, 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 no. I understand that in a few years, I've done a lot of
Yeah.
things are, that have, that a couple of other comics that I know deserve it have not been able to do. So I know I'm grateful for the opportunities that I've had.
Well done.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congrats on all your success in a short period and all the success that's to come.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done. Listen, before we wrap it up, where can people follow you online? You have any gigs coming up? Where can people see you?
Okay, so my I always do the joke where I'm like, if you guys don't notice, I'm a woman, but my pronouns are that girl, and so you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, and every other social media platform at that girl Russia. So that is how you can find me, that girl Russia, on all social media, TikTok, whatever you use. I'm on it. I'm on all of it. And my upcoming shows, I have to pull out my calendar to be honest. I know I have a charity show in August, where the money is going to Sudan and Palestine. If you want to support, that's the show to come to. And I'm performing with great comics, so it's going to be a good show.
Awesome.
Um,
And that'll be on all your socials, I'm guessing.
yeah, any upcoming shows I will post on social media. So if you follow me and you want to check me out, that is the place. I also post stupid videos all the time. If you like my sense of humor, you're gonna,
Awesome.
yeah, you won't regret it. You won't regret it.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of My First Joke. I hope all of you had as much fun listening as I had chatting with Russia. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe to My First Joke wherever you listen to podcasts. Share it with your friends. Rate, review, 5-star the podcast. The website is myfirstjoke.ca. My name is Kareem Kanji. Until next time, remember.
Follow your dreams.